that we have very good arrangements to ensure the security and integrity of the process, providing security to polling stations in a 3-tier system, with police taking the main responsibility in the first parameter, including the polling stations, with civil armed forces on the outer cordon perimeter, and Pakistan Army as the main quick reaction force on the outside perimeter. So we have more than ample resources available to ensure peaceful, free and fair elections on Thursday, February 8. There have been speculations in the past about the possibility of elections, at times about severity of the weather, sometimes about security, sometimes about even Iran-Pakistan skirmish that we experienced last month. But we have been consistent. Caretaker government has been consistent from the day one. And as the chief spokesperson of the government of Pakistan, I have held this position consistently that elections will be held on time as announced by the Election Commission of Pakistan. So we welcome you all, and we open this session for question. We would have to wind up before 1 p.m. because there are other important media activities planned that you are already aware of. So we'll have one question for each organization, and we'll just go back and forth. Madam Imran Khans has the names, and we'll go.
Mr. Nick, would you like to ask any question from the Minister about the elections?
Sure. So what's your, assuming that there are any problems on election day, how quickly would these military units be able to be, how quickly could you deploy them?
Probably less than the number of fingers on your hand in terms of minutes.
Next is the national media. Mr. Farhan Bukhari.
Thank you, Madam. Solangi, first of all, let me thank you for being accessible, very accessible as you come to the end of your tenure. It's been very good having you as Information Minister, unlike some of your predecessors. My question is that in less than an hour, this matter of former Prime Minister Imran Khan's marital status, the validity of that will be decided. Court is going to give out its verdict. This and other developments, other events around Imran Khan and PTI have reinforced the impression that this is a highly one-sided election with the established. You're heading towards these elections for the 5th largest democracy, as you say. Thank you, sir.
We are a free country, and they have every right to criticize anything, including the caretaker government and the courts. Media is free. They have been venting their dissent, and they have every right to criticize any judgment of the court. As far as the verdicts of courts are concerned, the caretaker government has no comment about those verdicts. We do not control the courts.
And the establishment's role?
We represent the caretaker government of Pakistan that's put in place legally and constitutionally.
Mr. Afzal Raza, would you like to ask any question?
I want to ask, how many, can you please repeat the digits, how many voters would cast their votes for this year's election?
128.6 million voters across Pakistan.
How many, do you have any figures, Minister, to how many males and how many females?
Yes,
The
we
category
do
and,
have figures. Let me try to, yeah. Okay, thank you. That's the percentage. Okay. 69.2 million voters are male voters, and 53.87 are, no, that's the percentage. I'm sorry, 59.3 million female voters. But if you look at the previous statistics, this gap has been bridged to a great extent. It has narrowed. So more women voters have been included. 2 million new women voters have been added. So this gap is narrowing down, especially in Punjab and Sindh. Less in Balochistan, but more.
Mr. Nazim?
Thank you, ma'am. Sir, just a few days before the elections and terrorist attacks increase in Balochistan and KPK. So what do you think is the reason for the increase in these attacks, and what would you say about it? Thank you.
Well, law and order and terrorism is not new to this country. We have been experiencing this for over a decade, especially around 2005 and 6 and 7. The 2008 elections were held in a very security threatened environment when there was a lot of terrorist activities. So that also continued in 2013, especially after August 15, 2021, when Taliban took over Kabul. Sadly, this terrorist spike has surged. And there are operational collaborations between different terrorist groups. I'm sure you are aware of the recent UN report, how the terrorist groups of different hues and shades, including Al-Qaeda and TTP, they are active in Afghanistan, and they use Afghanistan as the safe sanctuary. So we are experiencing that threat, but our security forces are battle-hardened, and we will ensure that elections will be held in a peaceful environment.
Ms. Friedrich, do you have a question to ask? Yes.
Could you please tell us a little bit about the international election observers? From which countries, from which bodies are they coming?
Do you have the figures of the foreign observers? I have. I'll get back to you. Let me just pull it out and take another question in the meantime.
Ms. Liuzen, do you have a question? No? Okay. So now we come to the last one. I'm sorry, I missed you. Yes. Mr. Matar.
I'd like to ask about the economic situation. Pakistan, and especially the Caretaker government, has signed so many MOUs with some countries, especially with Kuwait recently. And there was some news about that there will be reconstructing of the FBR, and maybe there will be change of the currency, the local currency. My question is about the economy. Whether this election, in a way or another, the result of this election will affect Pakistan's relation with for example, the Gulf countries, will improve the economic situation. What is the fate of those MOUs signed during the caretaker government, especially with Kuwait?
The economic initiatives that took place during caretaker government were taken in the background of SIFC, Special Investment Facilitation Council, and that was approved by the outgoing parliament. So it has the cover of the parliament. And the same political forces would return in the parliament with whatever ratio people decide in terms of their priority. But the same political forces that endorsed these economic initiatives are about to return to parliament in few days. So I have full faith that these economic initiatives will continue. And our relationship with our partners in Gulf and elsewhere, including People's Republic of China, those relations will deepen. And Pakistan, that has been stabilized economically in last 5 months, there is enough to, build on those initiatives.
You can get back to her. Ms. Friedrich.
And the currency.
I'm sorry?
There was a part of my question about the reconstruction of the FBR and changing of the currency.
Yeah, even yesterday, SIFC approved, and our cabinet also approved economic reforms related to tax policy and FBR. But those changes will take place after we make some amendments in FBR and Customs Act, and that's the domain of the Parliament. So we will carry and forward those recommendations and the work that we have conducted so far to the next Parliament, and we are hopeful that these will be approved because they are in the greater interest of Pakistan and its economic future. And that will also stabilize rupee-dollar relationship. As you have seen, the day caretaker government took oath of office on August 17 last year, the official interbank rate was 296 rupees for a single dollar. But in open market, we couldn't find a dollar in 350 rupees or even 400. And there were speculations that we will just go to 500 rupees for a dollar. But because of the administrative measures and some efficient working of the governance system, we have stabilized the economy and also the open rate and the curb rate on the dollar.
Ms. Friedrich, you can repeat the question and the Minister will answer now.
My question was whether...
Foreign observers.
Yeah.
Well, 92 international observers from international organizations like Commonwealth, EU, and embassies of bilateral countries, they have been issued visa as observers, and they include countries like Russian Federation, Japan, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Netherlands, Malaysia, Hungary, Sweden, Azerbaijan, Germany, and Kyrgyz Republic. The last question?
Yes. Ms. Carey, would you like to ask
Please.
something? Yes.
Thank you. You addressed the Imran Khan court cases, but I just wanted to ask, the PTI have alleged that there's been a campaign of intimidation, of violence, of abduction against them during the course of this election. I wanted to know what your response to that is.
We find these allegations baseless and absurd. Yes, people have been arrested, but those arrests were made, some related to May 9 incidents, and some involved in other criminal cases. So this allegation has no basis. However, they are free to express their dissent and allegations, even if they are baseless. The media carries them. At the same time, they have other legal options available, including the courts, including the highest courts of the land. Thank you. Thank you.
निगरान वज़ीर इत्तलात मुर्तज़ा सोलंगी न्यूज़ कॉन्फ्रेंस कर रहे थे। उन्होंने कहा कि इंतखाबात के हवाले से इक़दामात मुकम्मल कर लिए गए हैं। 8 फरवरी को साफ और शफाफ इलेक्शन के लिए वाफिर वसाइल मौजूद हैं। पाकिस्तान दुनिया में 5वीं बड़ी जमहूरियत बन चुका है।
वापस आएंगे इस ब्रेक के बाद,
हमारे साथ रहिए।
Big Freeze Rio, lunchtime की double treat.
पाकिस्तान की अवाम ने यह जान लिया है कि अगर यहां से आगे बेहतरी की जानिब जाना है तो नफरत और तक़सीम की सियासत को तर्क करके नई सोच, नए रवैये, नई तर्ज हुकूमत को अपनाना है। तो इस 8 फरवरी तीर को वोट दो और चुनो नई सोच को।
Prince Mini Fingers covered with magical chocolate from Princeland, जिसकी गुडनेस बना दे टीम वर्क और भी स्ट्रॉन्ग। Prince Mini Fingers